Hello and welcome to the Utah Hockey Podcast. My name is Kelly Queel. I am here with my two exuberant co-hosts, Cole Bagley and Michael Wolf, and we are so excited today to welcome the man, the myth, the legend. In studio, Mr. Brandon Tanev is here today. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Live studio audience is clapping right now.
Everybody, hold your applause. We only have so much time. Knock it off. We're so happy to have you and happy to have you in Utah. You came here from kind of Winnipeg, but we're mostly in Seattle for the last little bit. What are your first impressions of Utah so far?
I mean, it's been great. Everyone in the organization, the guys, everyone in the community has been so awesome and welcomed me. So couldn't ask for anything better. It's been great so far. Training camp's been awesome. It's nice to get back in the swing of things and playing games. And finally last night playing at the Delta Center for the first time. So seeing all the renovations, being in the building, and what a great atmosphere. So it's going to be exciting to be playing there for a large portion of our games, and the fans are amazing. So in that sense, it's going to be very exciting.
Yeah. We were all there last night, so we were stoked ourselves.
What was the most enticing thing about Utah? You know, well, they've only had 2 off seasons, so not that you were the first free agent signing, but one of the first. Just curious, why come here? Why play here?
I think it just seemed like the right fit for me. I mean, the direction that Ryan wants to go in the ownership group, the organization with Bill, the coaching staff with Bear, how many young, great players there are in this organization and this team. I just felt it was the right fit for me. I think coming now to training camp and seeing it all into fruition and being able to see the renovations at Delta Center, the amazing practice facility we had, the dream and the vision that Ryan's got and what he's put into this organization was definitely a selling factor. But I think for me, it's just being a part of a great group. I mean, you saw how good this team was last year and, right on the cusp of making the playoffs. And I think that's what we all want to be. We had great summers. We understood where we want to be and what we want to be playing for at the right time. And that's to get into the playoffs and ultimately playing for the Stanley Cup. That's everyone's desire when you put the jersey on the start of the season. And, I think we've gone to work during training camp and understanding what we need to do to put ourselves in that position. So for me, it's just the right fit, coming in, understanding what everyone wants and to be a part of that group.
As someone that was on the outside during the inaugural season, what was kind of the buzz about Utah? Were other teams talking about it? How did kind of other teams enjoy coming to Salt Lake?
Yeah, I think for me last year we were here when I was in Winnipeg. We came and obviously the team was playing great hockey at the time, and to come into the building, see the energy, the atmosphere, the fans, how everyone is taking into hockey and how much it's really caught on here. That was such a great feeling. I mean, the Delta Center was rocking when we come in here. We didn't play too well and kind of got smoked, which also helped for the building, the atmosphere. But at the end of the day, it's where you kind of feel most comfortable, the right fit, being in the group that you want to be a part of. And for me, that organization and where we want to be was a great selling point for me to want to come here.
So when you got smoked, is that when you were like, hey, maybe I should go play?
I think these guys have something going on.
That Keller took the puck in the eye?
It might have been.
Yeah.
I think Johnny Marines took something a little bit too high.
Yeah.
We were chatting afterwards, and I played with Johnny for a number of years in Pittsburgh and got to train with Sean over the last couple of years. So that also helped coming into an organization, knowing some guys previously and making things easier for me and a lot comfortable.
Tell us a little bit about what that practice facility is like. This just opened within the past little bit, and it's, elite, state-of-the-art, all the things. What did you think of it?
If I could add a little bit to that question, too, just in comparison to, because you get to open a brand new market in Seattle. 2 fresh practice facilities you've gotten kind of to break in. So
yeah, we were fortunate enough in Seattle to have a great practice facility, obviously, like you mentioned, brand new. And then, obviously, we were stepping into our practice facility here, which is above and beyond. I mean, there was no expenses spared. Ryan and his group did an unbelievable job giving us what we need to get ready for practices, for games, and the rigors of the season. But I think everyone was just blown away with how amazing that facility is. And for us to call that place home, we're truly special.
Is it true that one of your teammates overheated the sauna a couple weeks ago?
There was a little malfunction in the sauna. Trial and error, right? Maybe I don't know if we were supposed to be in there or not, or everything was running smoothly. But there was a little malfunction, but it's up and running now, which is great.
So, what's your favorite amenity?
I love the sauna.
Yeah.
There's so much space, to be honest with you. I think the first couple of days, a lot of us were getting lost trying to figure out where we were going. But, all the modalities, the sauna, the cold tubs, the hot tubs, the space that we have within the gym, the locker room, everything is beyond first class. So, we're extremely lucky to have a building like that and to call that home.
When Cole and I were growing up in Sandy, that was our mall. So we're all laughing now that we are so involved in the hockey community, and this is our practice facility. It's just fun.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And I was just curious, you kind of talked about a little bit after Michael's question. What is it like to be part of bringing hockey to a new space? You did it in Seattle. You're now experiencing that in Utah. What is that like as a player?
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. I mean, in Seattle, the market was so fresh. I mean, it had been there many years ago, but at the same time, when you're bringing hockey into a new market, the passion, the energy, the excitement, it's always there. So that echoes back onto the organization, us as players, going out there and providing an amazing product. We want to go out there and do the best we can every single night and have an amazing games, wins, you know what I mean? We want to bring that excitement, that drive that allows the fans, the community to come into the game every day and bring that energy, that passion that we also need sometimes on the ice. I mean, it's such a great feeling when you come out into the ice and see X amount of people, cheering loud, banging against the glass, enjoying themselves, smiles on their faces. I mean, hockey's such a serious sport at all times, but at the end of the day, it's those little things that do mean a lot to everyone within the game.
For sure.
I want to ask you about your nickname, Turbo. Tell us how that kind of came to be.
Well, I used to have a different nickname when I was in Winnipeg years ago, and then when I got
what was that
Rusty.
Nickname? Rusty. Okay.
And then when I got to Pittsburgh, there was already a Brian Rust whose nickname was Rusty. So then I think the guys just figured out Turbo would work fine, and I wasn't complaining. You don't really get to choose your nicknames. It's kind of what the guys give you. So I was more than okay with that one.
Do you know how Turbo came about?
I think I'm just because I'm always bouncing off the walls, just kind of high energy, flying around. So it definitely fit its place and its purpose.
Fitting.
What about Rusty in Winnipeg?
You know what? I really don't even know how that came about. I remember after signing in college and coming in Winnipeg, I want to say like my gear was just terrible. There was like rust bleeding from my skates and stuff like that. And I mean, you always like to check on guys' gear, what they use, sticks, skates, all that stuff. And I think one of the older guys was going through my stuff and just saw how beat up my equipment was. In college it's a little different. We don't get as many sets or as many pairs of skates or sticks that you do in professional level. So mine were pretty beat up, and that was the nickname that kind of stuck with me. And, it's one of those things where it's just like, sure, I mean, we'll go with it, and there's no complaints. Just keep smiling.
You did get to play with one of the players who's kind of known for using really old gear in Pittsburgh, Sidney Crosby. Do you still have any gear that you've used for a long time? Is there a piece of equipment that you kind of held on to?
I'm somebody that doesn't like to change my stuff too often, to be honest with you. I mean, low maintenance is the best maintenance. I mean, especially when you're coming into the league as a young guy, you don't want to be the guy who's always going in and asking for things. And, that was one of the first pieces of advice I got from my brother when I ended up signing in Winnipeg. So, I mean, I've got a ton of stuff that's probably from before college, so like 15, 16 years that I still have and still use. So it's old reliable, I guess we can call it.
You referenced your college career. You and I have something in common because I was born in Rhode Island and moved here to Utah when I was 4. You won the national championship with Providence, got a taste of success kind of early on. Having been a junior that year, what was that like to win and also to score the game-winning goal in that game?
Yeah, I think, it was an amazing feat for our school. We're a very small school, but,
Small state, small school.
Exactly, but rich in athletics. There's so many good athletic teams in Providence, and we were fortunate enough to get into the tournament, have a good run throughout the national tournament, and then, of course, the Frozen Four being in Boston, which was amazing. I mean, we're a local team just outside of Boston in Providence, and then to get to play BU in that setting at TD Garden was kind of extremely special. You've got 10,000 BU fans, 10,000 Providence fans, and the atmosphere was amazing. So to get a taste, like you mentioned, of that early on, and of course us winning and getting the national championship was truly amazing. I mean, it was the first in the hockey program at Providence. I mean, just to see and be a part of that was extremely special for the community, the school, and everyone within Providence College Athletics.
That's awesome. That's so cool. What about, as you said, following your brother into the league? It is actually way more common than people think that family members follow each other into the league. There's so many sets of brothers that we have in the NHL, kind of unlike any other sport in that sense. What was it like to have a brother who kind of was already there showing you the ropes?
Yeah, I think with Chris playing for as long as he has and kind of leading the way. It's always great to lean on someone in those times and experiences that's been doing it for such a long time. I mean, it's not all sunshine and roses throughout games, practices, the length of the season. There's obviously adversity people face and go through, but at the same time, so for me to lean and chat with my brother and discuss things with him as he's been through it many times before me, it's nice. And, that brotherly connection, and you can bounce things off each other, whatever it might be. But I mean, for me, it was just seeing him go through his path, his journey, to have a great role model in that sense. I mean, I've always looked up to him and everything he's done. So to see him have so much success early on out of college and go through the right steps and doing the right things and taking care of himself and being a true pro, that really echoed onto me. And we're fortunate enough to do what we do and play professional sports and hockey in that sense. So, you never know how long it's going to last or where you're going to be. So you always got to come to the rink with a smile on your face. And fortunately, I was able to lean on him and ask him tons of questions throughout early on in my career.
So cool.
I know we only have you for a few more minutes, so I want to ask the important questions. Have you been able to experience much of the Utah culture? Have you tried fry sauce yet? Have you had a dirty soda? These are the things the fan base wants to know.
I've had a dirty soda.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I've had the fry sauce. I don't know. Can you tell me a little bit more about it?
I can educate.
Right. We've got it right here.
So this is local favorite spot, Moochie's. They have like cheesesteaks and meatballs and stuff. But it's basically a mixture of ketchup and mayo.
It's nothing crazy.
It's
but
not
it's
insane, but
delicious.
it's here. This is our gift to you from the Utah
thank you
Hockey
very much.
Podcast.
You come on this podcast, you get gifts.
So I think I've had it before. I didn't know there was like a quote unquote fry sauce, a label on it.
Yes.
But I've definitely had it before, and the dirty soda was good. The fry sauce is good. I mean, just being outside. I mean, the weather. We've been fortunate enough with great weather. We've had a little bit of rain, not a ton, but I mean, the sun has been amazing. You
a hiker?
I am. I did.
Nice.
I don't know where I've been and what I've done. I did a couple early on. They weren't too crazy, but just to get out there and just to see the mountains, the colors changing right now, and to be in the sunshine, it's been great so far.
Are you going with any teammates? Are there any? Because I know that there are a few ambassadors on the team for the outdoors. Yeah,
hiking constantly.
I feel like Sergachev and Vemelka are always outside. But are there any players that you've gone with?
I did this one by myself. I had asked a couple guys, and they were not into it, so I'm like, you know what, it's too nice of a day to sit inside, so I got to get out and experience and go explore.
Love it.
We'll share that with your teammates, because Logan Cooley thought fry sauce was Chick-fil-A sauce, and that was just rude. So let your teammates sample. But Brandon, thank you so much for coming on. We really enjoyed this. I know the fan base is really happy to have you here on the team, so good luck this season, and hopefully we'll have you back and you can give us a review on the old fry sauce.
Most definitely. I'll put this in Cool's stall tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go. I better see it. You know that I can check. I better see it.
Trust me, I'll bring it into him, but I appreciate you guys having me and chatting with you. It's been awesome.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Brandon.
much.
Thanks,
Brandon.
We'll be right back with the Utah Hockey Podcast.
That was so nice.
Hi, welcome
Even Cole?
back.
Sorry, our producer just said that Cole looked and sounded wonderful, so we had to question things because
That's not
we're
our
journalists
reality.
and we have integrity.
Okay. Hi, welcome back.
Are you journalists or am I a journalist and you're just riding my coattails?
Cole's a journalist, and he's supposed to have integrity. So I just thought he would question
We're
it
actually
first.
professional contracted podcasters.
Check your chirps, all right? Check your chirps.
Check your chirps. Hi.
That was mean.
Hi, welcome back. Hi, welcome back. Thank you so much for reaching out to me about my illness. I had pneumonia, but I'm back now and better than ever. And we got to go to a hockey game last night, guys.
We did. You're welcome, Michael.
Thank you, Cole. Jeez. Cole had some tickets, so I was able to bring my son. I was gonna thank
First
him, but
NHL
he's
game.
thanking himself. So we'll.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
And you got upgraded.
I did get upgraded. So yeah, got to kind of experience the lower bowl.
Last time I helped you out, seriously.
Jeez.
Disrespectful.
Can we start talking about hockey or?
I don't know.
Cole's
Are you done?
Cole's being mean to me right now, guys.
My
I
friends
hope
are
you know what
bullying
it's
each
like.
other.
I hope you know what it's like behind the scenes.
And
Yeah.
all of a sudden,
It's
it
finally
falls
coming out.
apart.
Hey, sorry. It's training camp, all right? I'm tired.
Well, yeah. Hold on. Let me try to feel bad for you. I don't.
Oh no, Cole gets to go and watch professional hockey players play football on the ice. Rough life for a guy who loves hockey.
It's a stench of jealousy in this place right now.
Oh, we.
On that specific situation, jealous, yes. On the have to watch practice every day, not extremely jealous, but it
you
also
are.
sounds awesome.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
We were at a hockey game last night. Thanks for getting back on track.
Again, you're welcome.
We watched the LA Kings take on the Utah Mammoth at home for the preseason. We saw a renovated Delta Center with very steep side sections that I don't think anybody fell down, which is fantastic. Yeah. We got to see a lot of different things from the Mammoth, including Mr. Brandon Tanev making his debut at home as a Mammoth. What did you think about chatting with Tanev?
Tanev's great.
Yeah. Awesome guy. I think like we were saying, he meshes well with this team and isn't a jerk. So that's great. I think it is so nice meeting professional hockey players, because I've met a lot of athletes, and most of them, it was kind of disappointing. I have yet to be disappointed meeting a hockey player.
Yeah, just the sweetest, coolest.
Make your heroes hockey players.
Yeah,
exactly.
There you go.
We also figured out, I'm grateful we finally figured out why Cole didn't make the league.
Yes. So
that's the only reason.
Exactly.
This is just me being a 6th grade teacher, statistics nerd. There are actual statistics that say that players who were born in January, February, March, April have a higher likelihood of making it to the NHL, specifically because in Canada, when they take kids in youth hockey by their birth year, the most experienced players happen to be the older ones. And Brandon Tanev was born on December 31st, making him statistically the least likely person to make it to the NHL. And then Cole said, that's also my birthday. So now we know why statistically Cole didn't make it.
It's just because I wanted a wife and kids. That's it. That's the reason.
That's so romantic.
This guy just puts his family first.
This is wonderful.
What a stand-up individual.
Can I talk about hockey and tell you what Brandon Tanev did really well last night?
Yes.
Go ahead.
The Utah Hockey Club, back when they were the Utah Hockey Club, had a really hard time forechecking and then getting it out of the neutral zone. Brandon Tanev last night, he's just such a veteran player, which obviously we love because we have such a young team, but he was so good at reading the play enough to recognize on the ice where he needed to be exactly. And on some forecheck situation, they were digging it out of the boards, and he was skating between the two players behind him until the puck came out of the corners.
Just waiting.
Yeah, just waiting. And it's like he reads a play so well, being a veteran, and I just appreciated that he did that.
He's one of those guys that his impact is not going to show on the score sheet.
Yes.
Very often.
And you might not even notice he's there.
Yeah.
But he's the one feeding. He's the one blocking. He's a more physical guy.
I loved the way he finished so many checks last night that, like, a lot of guys would just not even think twice about.
Yeah.
Like, there was one in particular, again, talking about the neutral zone, where, a face-off was won by LA. They dumped it in, and the guy that dumped it, he let him have it.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes. Utah needed more of that.
Yes, agreed.
That was one of their biggest off-season needs, was to get more physical, to get bigger and stronger.
I saw the same thing from Nate Schmidt last night. Again, exciting to see a veteran who can come in and play, that 200-foot game that we have been wanting to see. And then it complements everybody else so well, right? Dylan Gunther doesn't have to worry about that because he can think about being further forward and things like that. So it just felt like really exciting hockey. And then we finally won a preseason game. Goodness.
It was a good, cohesive performance.
Effort, yeah.
I think also people need to understand that it was the first time that we had near starting roster.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite.
That was the best preseason roster.
It was the best preseason roster. So all of the rosters you've been watching before in the preseason were not. They were filled with AHL players. They were filled with
They were at
juniors
best
players.
60% an NHL roster.
Exactly.
Last night was about 80-85.
Yeah. Yeah.
It made a huge difference.
Exactly. And who knows with who could make the roster at the end of the season, it might be even more of that with how well I feel like a couple of these players are playing. But I even saw the same thing in Lawson Krause last night. Like, obviously, he's had a fantastic preseason.
I think he's leading the team in points.
His stock has gone through the roof.
Yes.
But I also like being able to watch him in person and I was up close to the defensive zone a couple times. He was throwing his body around like crazy. He was finishing checks. He was running through guys. It was really, really fun to watch Lawson Krause play hockey last night.
Mm-hmm. I think the entire preseason he's just dominated. Kind of came out early in that first preseason game, and we were like, who is Lawson Krause now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You had written, Bags, that he was kind of the ones to keep our eyes on as far as improving for this season. I thought his preseason game looks unbelievable, and he is a point scorer, and we are going to get some points out of him, and that could be the difference, as you stated before.
Yeah, I mean, last year was probably his worst in the National Hockey League, and he'd be the first to tell you that. 18 points, it was less than half of the previous 2 seasons. It wasn't his worst statistically overall, because if you go back to his first few seasons, yeah, I think he put up like 12 and 6, whatever. But to be a veteran and to produce the way he did last year was incredibly disappointing. And it was somewhat harmful to the team in, not being able to get into the playoffs. Not that I'm not saying Lawson Krause is the reason they didn't make it, but if you would have gotten even 35 to 40 points out of Krause a year ago, that team probably would have made the playoffs. That could have been the difference in some of those closer games, because they only missed by 7 points?
Yeah.
That's 4 wins.
We talked about this with Liam O'Brien also, that one of the things that NHL players need so frequently is confidence.
Yep.
And I feel like just seeing Lawson Krause's confidence coming out for the preseason has been incredible. Just whiplash difference.
He has this sparkle in his eye.
He does.
He really does.
I know. Well, you're closer to him. I just saw it from a distance playing hockey. But
he seems happier. He seems more engaged, but more relaxed. Last year,
confident.
it was last year. It was just so tense, because you could tell it was killing him that he was not playing very well.
Yeah.
And I think that turned into obviously a lack of confidence, but as the players like to say, gripping his stick too tight. And he was trying to do too much, whereas now it's more natural, and he's playing the way that you want Krause to play. He's incredibly physical. He's battling in the dirty areas. He's battling in front of the net. He's getting greaser goals. The goal last night, it trickled in, but guess what? It still counts.
Did you see Johnny Marino and Lawson go
yeah.
It went in.
Yeah.
We did our best.
That's what you want from him.
Yeah.
You want punishing forecheck. You want intensity, physicality, battling, answering the bell when your young players get hit by somebody. You go, no.
Yeah.
Right. He's the sheriff.
Yeah, the sheriff.
It's time to start doing some
Sheriff's
patrolling.
in town.
Yeah. Sheriff's back, right?
Yeah.
So, no, it's exciting. I mean, I think there's a few, primary takeaways and headlines, if you will, from the preseason, and Krause is maybe the top one, because he's such a big part of this team, and to not have him last year was hard. But to have him back and confident in playing this well, if you get 40 to 50 points out of Krause, this team is going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because everybody else is only going to keep doing what they were doing a year ago and building on it. And so if you get, an additional 25 points out of Krause, there's probably your 4 or 5 game difference right there.
I think it's exciting to hear from Tanev too. Obviously, the practice facility and them being there, and just the camaraderie that I feel like I've heard from them being there makes such a big difference for that on ice chemistry. But also, everybody has the same goal in mind. We need to make the playoffs. And I think just hearing that over and over again, I know you've interviewed dozens of people at this point in the organization who have said the same thing. It just feels exciting that we all have the same goal.
Yeah, we also didn't sign any veterans who didn't make the playoffs last year. Tanev played with the Jets in the playoffs. And then Vanacek, who
Schmitty
had a fantastic night last night on
Yeah.
a whole nother
stood
conversation.
on his head, man.
But yeah, and Schmidt also played and won a Stanley Cup. So I think the moves this offseason were clearly calculated, and they're paying off. And I think they put a proper amount of pressure on guys like Lawson Krause. Just to be like, hey, we have guys who we would like to come and play. Show us that you can, please. Please show us that you. And he's done a fantastic job. So.
I think one of the biggest differences too, and again, it helps that I'm able to be in the locker room and to talk to these guys and to hear conversations and to be part of conversations. Last year, when guys were talking about the playoffs, and it was right from the start. A lot of them said, "Hey, we're ready," but then the front office was kind of like, just meaningful hockey. Like, it felt like the players didn't really believe themselves when they would say those things,
Right.
because there was a different message coming from the front office.
Yeah.
This year, it feels very genuine.
Mm-hmm.
When guys are telling me, we know what we need to do. We're a year older. We're deeper. We've got more veterans. I fully believe them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they're carrying themselves in a way that is confident, that is locked in, that is hungry and aggressive. I think that's what we're seeing on the ice. And yeah, they just barely won their first preseason game, but you've seen that night in and night out. And as the roster has come together a little bit more and gotten a little bit better, Vitek Vanacek was unbelievable in net last night.
Unbelievable.
You have all these guys that are kind of coming in, not on prove-it contracts necessarily, but a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Vanacek is only on a 1-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely prove you still belong in the NHL.
Yep.
That's a good place for him to be.
Yep.
And not only does he recognize that, he wants to push Veggie for more minutes.
Yeah.
He's not here to play 20 games.
I mean, we got to talk to him, and he was like, "May the best goalie play."
Yeah.
He was excited
and
to challenge him.
He looked incredible last night.
He was unbelievable. Some of those back forth, whatever. I was standing up because I could not believe that he was saving this.
It was a joy to watch him.
Yeah.
That was one of the most fun experiences I've had, just purely honing in on a goaltender.
And it was reminiscent of that game last year where Veggie had
Right,
the most,
against
right?
Carolina.
It just felt like we didn't even, I think too, the Kings had a couple breakaways, and the breakaways had us all kind of holding our breath, and Vitek didn't care. Our defensive core came back, back-checked, and it was unbelievable. It was cool to see that system all working out.
Yeah, I think coming back to what you were saying, Cole, about the players not really believing it. I don't know if anybody follows the NFL here, but this last week the Titans coaches were asked if they really believed that the team that they were putting on the field could go to the playoffs and win the Super Bowl, and both the coaches were like, that's the goal every year. You could they're like, but clearly we have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
I think that
I think the 49ers coaches feel the same way.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of coaches that would feel the same way, and a lot of coaches in the NFL that would feel the same way. And it felt like when we were getting those answers last year, it was theoretically, could we make the playoffs? Yes.
It felt desperate.
It
They
did.
were grasping at it and they couldn't get it.
Yeah.
And there was so much to figure out, right? They moved here. They're all just
injuries kept happening. They were
Jersey out instantly.
Yeah, they're bringing guys off of waivers. They're trading for Oli Mata. They're having to call up Maverick Lamoureux.
We also didn't have proper reserves, young reserves, and the opportunities to you need players ready to go so that when you have injuries, those players can fill spots.
And I think getting to see last night, even Yamamoto.
Cole, what did Nate just text you?
Yamamoto.
Can't repeat it. I guess I won't repeat it.
Nate's a 49ers fan. Everyone.
Yeah, unfortunate.
He just deleted our entire.
He was like, "No, you didn't interview Brandon Tanev."
I have a photo on my phone. Seeing Gams out there last night, seeing Simashev, seeing Boot, we just have this younger core that I'm not concerned if I don't want anybody to get injured, but if they are in the AHL and somebody gets injured, I'm not worried that Boot's coming back. I'm not worried that Simashev's coming back. And
there won't be this scramble
of
oh crap, now who do we get? Let's go find somebody on waivers. Let's make a trade like they did last year.
That's all it was.
Ended up being a good trade. Oli Mata is great, and the acquisition of Oli Mata was a really solid.
What was it, a 4th or 5th round pick?
It was nothing for a one of the better veteran defensemen who is a true defensive defenseman.
Yeah.
So
it's cool.
It was a good move. But.
Can we talk for a moment about Monsieur Logan Cooley?
Sure.
We have seen him be injured so far this preseason. Today he was back in a contact jersey. What's the opposite of a non-contact jersey? A
regular
jersey.
sweater. Yeah.
And
it's not blue.
Yeah. And so we're excited,
Blue's
hopefully, that he is coming back. He's doing a signing today, which is cool. All the people
just
are
ask him.
excited about that. I'm not going, but
are you healthy?
Other people are. Are you going to play for us?
You good?
He's not playing tomorrow.
Okay.
But Bear told us they're confident that he'll be back to start this season.
Any of those fringe players, like we said last week, if you're even sort of concerned that a player is injured during preseason in any sport, you don't play them.
Nope.
Like, why are you
Just
risking their health? Just let them rest.
Yeah, just
let them practice.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of guys in that boat right now.
Yeah.
If there's even a
Jack
slight,
McBain.
if you have a slight little cut or a little boo-boo, there's no reason to risk it. It's preseason.
No.
Yeah.
And so
Bear said as much.
Yeah, kind of what Tourney said today was like, yeah, he's pretty much there, but we're not going to play him tomorrow because it's the Sharks in the preseason. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
You know,
because the Sharks are going to have a bunch of really young tryhards on the ice, and that's not what you want.
Yeah.
Because you have a bunch of players there fighting for contracts. They're going to go and
hurt somebody.
They're going to go and hurt somebody. It happens in the preseason.
That's what happened to Cooley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy that hit him was a fringe player.
Yeah.
Right.
Who's just trying to show something.
Yeah.
One thing that I wanted to bring up about Logan Cooley is that this week we saw some insane contracts. And a lot of fans have been begging us to discuss what is wrong with Logan Cooley and why are we not signing him when we have another year on his contract. We have discussed a lot about how Logan Cooley needs to push it to next season. This week we saw 2 players break records for how much money they are currently being paid in the NHL.
Yeah, I could just kind of reiterate the tweet that I sent out yesterday. That was Logan Cooley actually shared one of Jackson Lacombe in Anaheim as a friend of Logan Cooley, and he shared his contract. He's like in a congratulatory kind of way. I think I'm just going to speculate that Logan Cooley knew that
knew what he was doing.
Knew that. Hey, look at how much this guy got.
Yep.
Logan Cooley is a better player, and Jackson Lacomb's a defenseman. I get that, like, we're comparing apples to oranges, but not really. Kirill Kaprizov just got $16 million.
That was 17.
A year. It was over 16. I don't even. I don't even remember if I saw the final number.
Because I think the original offer was 16, and he like squirrels another million out of it.
Dude.
Which, like, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. And I think we've seen the results from that.
Overpaid, by the
week.
way.
I think that players are being overpaid, but I just saw a stat yesterday. The NHL is growing faster than any major sports league in the United States right now. So, like, percentage-wise, is growing faster than the MLB, the NBA, and the NFL. So
that's because you got 49ers fans out here with nothing better to watch, so then they start watching hockey.
You need people who root for the 49ers so that the sport can grow. And it's a good time because San Jose is supposedly going to come out of the rebuild at some point, or maybe that whole area is just
there's cookies involved.
Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's fine. But I think that Logan Cooley and his agent are very happy right now.
Yeah.
Because they did the right thing, and it's exactly what we talked about. We talked about it is better for the team that they signed him 3 months ago.
Yes, because then you get a Dylan Gunther type contract.
Yes.
Exactly.
That might be the best contract for a team in the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
And we didn't even know at the time really what we were getting, and now we look back at it, we're like, oh my gosh,
you might have a 50 goal scorer in 2 or 3 seasons that's only getting paid $7 and a quarter a year.
Yeah.
That is a bargain.
If you're getting those players in the 7 to 8, there's a couple players who've signed within the last year. I think of like Lucas Raymond in Detroit, who signed in the 8s, like for 7 years. Like, that is an insane contract. The Dylan Gunther contract is insane. Logan Cooley and his agent, I feel like, knew that they could wait it out just a little bit. He hasn't even played any hockey since he was supposed to sign a contract. Yeah. So just by virtue of a little bit of patience, Logan Cooley, I think, will probably get paid $10 million now.
Yeah,
I think so too.
I think like bare minimum, he's going to get a $10 million 7 to 8 year contract.
If he would have signed during a similar timeline as Gunther did, based on when they came into the league, he probably would have only gotten about $8 million a year, which still crazy money.
Yeah.
But he simply just waiting, not even playing hockey. He's probably a $10 million a year player now.
Yeah, and I think that rightfully so.
Yeah,
I think when you look at whatever contract Logan Cooley gets next, when you look at it in 3 to 5 years, maybe when you just look at it immediately, it's a fantastic deal.
Right.
Because he's going to come out this season and hopefully just continue on the progression that he's been on for since he's entered the league, and especially last season. Yeah, I I'm happy for him because
there's nothing wrong with him.
That's awesome. Yeah,
he is being smart.
Yeah,
he is smart to wait. That's just plain and simple because
cap's going up,
cap goes
league's
up,
growing. Yeah,
you don't want to be the first guy to sign the contract. I guess unless you're Cap over in Minnesota, who just did get the biggest contract. Fine, he can be the first.
Yeah,
but then look, the dominoes start falling, right? Because then guys go, he's getting $17 million.
How did Jackson Lacombe get $9 million? When
I don't know.
I was like, all right.
Didn't Luke Hughes just sign as well?
He just got $9 million too, but he's,
which was the biggest contract in New Jersey history.
Yes,
how is that real?
He is a child. I think Luke Hughes is still like 20 years old. He's only played a year in the league, and he just got an 8. Wasn't it 8 over 9?
I think so,
or 9 over 8. That's insane.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but I maybe that's an overpay. I don't know, but once again, league's growing. And good defensemen are hard to come by, so I don't blame them at all. And I think it's funny what it probably does to Vancouver now, because there's this overarching desire for all the Hughes boys to play together. They're not going to play together in Vancouver anymore.
I have never seen a player more unhappy to just be on a team than Quinn Hughes.
He's
pretty
just
rough.
a serious guy.
I think that they just need to send him out east.
It's the same thing I think about Blackhawks, though.
Like he just comes out, he's like in warm mode.
It's because everybody is jealous that the Sharks have such a cool friendship. All the other Connor Bedard and whatever are just depressed that they don't have pals.
No best friends.
It's sad because a lot of hockey
is
having friends. Also, this week we did a deal to send Connor Ingram to the Oilers. But I just wanted to reference a part that some people thought was a little bit confusing. Basically, when we put him on waivers for the Roadrunners, we traded him to the Oilers. He'll likely play for the AHL, Bakersfield team for them. And it seems like overall a better fit.
Yeah.
But one thing that the Mammoth organization did is retain a little bit of his contract here.
That's exactly why Edmonton didn't claim him. Is because two things, to my understanding, is, well, first of all, if they would have picked him off waivers, you absorbed the whole contract, which would have put them over the cap. So reason number one. Reason number two is I believe if they pick him up off waivers, they then have to go through the waiver.
He lands in the NHL.
Yeah, he lands in the NHL.
And then they have to put on waivers again.
He has to clear to get to Bakersfield, and somebody else could claim him.
Yeah.
That's why. Simple. And that's something that, new hockey fans wouldn't know. So I totally understand the confusion.
Right.
But it's very simple. Then that's why.
Yeah. I thought it was a good move by the Mammoth to let him go to a place where he can probably play, because there's a lot of pressure there for them to perform. Connor McDavid is on the cusp of signing a contract, and now he's going to get over $17 million.
Yeah, right.
So that in and of itself was kind of reason enough for them to need another goaltender, because, I like Cal Picard. I think Stuart Skinner's fine, but both kind of middle of the road goalies in terms of performance.
If they had a half decent goalie in the Stanley Cup the last 2 years, it would have been back to back for the Oilers.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, it comes down, I feel like forever it's always been, do you have the better goalie, and can you keep some shots off of them? And the Oilers just couldn't do that for the last couple of years. So happy for Connor Ingram. Hope he does really well, unless he's playing a couple different teams, and wish him well in his career. So.
Yeah, it was, kind of just to touch on it, it was a collective agreement. A lot of people are wondering, why didn't you bring him to camp? Why didn't you give him a chance? Well, to be frank, it was he didn't want to be here anymore.
Yeah,
it is what it is, and you can't blame the guy. He went through a lot here. Lost his mom, to cancer. He's a guy that's been open about his mental health and was struggling with that. And I think a lot of times when you go through those experiences, you want a fresh start, and so.
Be back home, closer to family.
Yeah, and that's exactly what this is.
Yeah.
And so, good on him for making that clear, and good on the Mammoth for truly helping him find a new place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they could have said, well, whatever, we're not going to trade you and retain. We got to find somewhere that's, you know, that's willing to take the whole contract.
Right.
No, they understood. They wanted to help him out, and they did. And so I think, you know, a lot of respect in that regard. And, you know, for Utah, they're happy with their goalie tandem.
Yeah.
You know, they've got Vemelka.
After last night, I'm very
happy.
happy with the
I'm
goalie
happy with their
tandem. Yeah,
goalie
no
tandem.
complaints.
If they get that type of Vanacek, Utah is making the playoffs. I'm not saying he's going to stop 95% of the shots every night.
Yeah.
But if he can be above 8-9, above 900, and you got Veggie that's hovering around 902, 903, 904,
Yeah.
that's a really good tandem that's going to take you to the playoffs.
Not to mention our defensive core got better too.
Yeah.
And I think
it's
what
just looking good.
Vanacek wants is he wants it to be a 1A, 1B kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
And teams that win the playoffs either have a bona fide superstar goalie or they have a 1A, 1B situation where they can play either goalie and depend on them.
It's like Pittsburgh,
to stop.
Fleury and Murray.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sure. I was going to say more of like a Hasek Osgood kind of situation, but I guess the Pittsburgh situation.
Nobody remembers that.
Nobody remembers Chris Osgood and Dominic Hasek. It's okay. Fleury and Murray were fantastic. I really like Marc-Andre.
I mean, you know, Fleury just had like a whole welcome home party in Pittsburgh. I don't remember Osgood doing that.
That was kind of. I liked that they brought him back for the preseason.
Me too.
I thought it was a
Awesome.
cool move. I just love hockey. I love that. I just don't. You get the players in the NFL coming back and like signing the 1-day contract. You don't have players come back and play a whole
full
preseason.
gear.
Come and do camp. I think it's and
It was
play a
great.
game.
Well,
And Fleury's like everything I want from an NHL player. I want them all to behave like him. I want all the shenanigans. Give me all the
Just
shenanigans.
complete goofballs.
Me- that's all I
let me
want.
share. Let me share.
But he's such a goalie.
He is. Let me share one story and we'll wrap up.
Cool.
I at practice day I went up to Ole Mata and Ian Cole because they both played with Fleury and they sit next to each other in the locker room right now.
Yeah.
I said, hey, you know, just in spite of Fleury finally retiring, I said, did he ever prank you guys? And they both said, oh yeah, of course. And
Because that's all he does.
yeah, so Ian shared this one experience where it was when Murray was the starter, and so Fleury was back up. And so, you know, obviously Murray's in net and Fleury's on the bench. Well, this particular game in the third period, Ian said that he got ejected. So early shower. So he heads back to the locker room. And he walks in there, and Fleury is in there. He had taken all of the Penguins' belts out of their trousers and tied them together and then took sock tape and started balling them up. And Ian's like, what are you doing? He's that was my French laugh.
Yeah, I heard that. I got that. You've heard Journeys for a little while. You're getting it down pat.
Just hilarious.
That is hilarious.
Pretty good.
He's like, why are you doing this? He's like, yeah, it's funny.
And to
There's
be
a game
fair,
going
it is
on.
Funny. Yeah, he's supposed to be like in a ball cap on the bench, and he's like just shenanigans.
Yeah, I love that about
I love it too.
Yeah.
It's just like, and I got to talk to Fleury last year, and like that's my goalie. Like
Yeah.
he was my goaltender growing up,
Yeah,
and so just he is the kindest person.
yeah.
Like super funny, like just a jokester, but
Yeah.
seriously, so nice. Talked to me for like 10 or 15 minutes. Didn't have to do that at all.
Yeah.
Like we interviewed, and then he was totally fine to talk to me.
That's very
And
sweet.
yeah, sweetest guy. So just fun. Hockey's fun.
Yeah. And just an icon in the league. Like I said, I want everybody to be like that, have as much fun as that. Getting to talk to Tanev, and he's described his photo, you know, before of, you know, just being silly. He wants hockey to be, he said it today, you know, hockey's a very serious game until it's not, and got to learn to have fun too. It's cool. It's refreshing.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, last night I was able to bring my son to the game, his first NHL game. So I wanted to just close out by thanking the fans who we interacted with for just being good, wholesome, awesome people and making it a place where I like feel comfortable bringing my son. I feel like that's not always true with professional sports where I'm
Totally.
like, there's going to be all this profanity. People are going to be throwing alcohol. That's still true. And I think there's a place for it. I love it. But like when my son was around them, they were nothing but like stand-up individuals. All the people like went around to a couple different groups of people, said hi to people. People were like saying hi to me and just being like respectful that my son was there and he had a great time. So like hats off to the Mammoth organization for creating something that can capture the attention of a 4-year-old for like 3.5 hours.
Yes.
I can never do that with anything.
Yesterday,
Miss Rachel can.
Yesterday was like the cool family reunion that you want to go
It really
to.
was.
Right?
That's what it felt
Well,
like.
and we sat next to your kids too, and your wife, and I don't know. It was awesome.
Like
it was so fun.
It was so fun to see so many of you guys there, like just like hugs and like welcome back and like it's great. You know, how was your summer? All this stuff. Like
I said it felt like the first day of school.
I talked to so many people, and it was like, this is cool.
Yeah.
You know, this is not like, you know, big business who's who watching a game. Like this is literally like the diehards. We're all family, and it's fun. Like I had, like you said, I had my kids there too. Same thing. Like everybody, you know, is coming up and talking to them, ask them, who's your favorite player on the team? And people, you know, people were giving them like stickers, and someone gave my son a puck. Like it's amazing.
Sweet.
Yeah,
hockey's the best.
And I have to say, I know that we're finishing, but just like shout out Mike Goodkind. He does a lot of the in-arena hosting. My kid and Cole's kid, and I think Cole's nephew, were trying so hard to get on the Jumbotron for periods on end. Just like, please, there's 8 minutes left in the third period. They're still trying so hard. No camera people are coming over. I DM'd Mike Goodkind. And I was like, section 20, row 15, please. It's this kid's birthday. Come in, and no joke, 2 minutes later, the camera guy comes running up the stands, and he was like, I passed the information along, and they were so stoked. So that if you see the picture of me and Cole's wife so stoked,
I was gonna say that was the funniest.
It's
picture.
because they just got on the camera. They were on it, I think, earlier for like a split second, but
why do we like
so
that
cute.
as human beings?
I don't know.
Why are we
like,
I'm on the big screen?
Because it's cool. It doesn't become uncool the older you get too. So
everybody's still stoked.
yeah, it's fun. I like watching like Cole's kids, my kid. I just like watching them react to things. I'm like, that's exactly how I would react.
Yeah.
So we're all like, we're built a certain way, and some things just don't change. So I love that remains true with hockey.
I'm on the big screen.
Literally. There's a big TV right there, and I'm on it.
Everybody can see me right now. No, I'm like that as a grown human.
Yep. And speaking of the big screen, we hope that you guys are watching us on your TVs, on YouTube, listening to us in your vehicles, on Apple, on Spotify. Go to the KSL YouTube page, pull us up on your giant TVs, and my nose will look even larger than it does regularly in real life. Cole's head will look larger than it does.
Dude, how big was it on the screen last night?
on the Jumbotron.
I'm surprised you could see my wife's face.
Huge. Yeah. It's because it was coming from this angle. If I was on the other side of her, you wouldn't have seen anything. You wouldn't have seen anything at all. So thank you so much for listening. We'll be back again next week. And yeah, listen to us in all the places, and we appreciate you. I'm looking at the wrong camera.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.